How come celebrity cannabis brands don't usually work? What should you do if you are a celebrity and want to get into cannabis? So, as you all may know, I've been in the cannabis industry for quite a long time. I also used to be in the music industry. So, the two combined, I had a great insight on leveraging cannabis brands for specifically rappers because that's who I was working with. And so what I found out over the years is this isn't an exact science of transition. It's actually not that easy, at least for the way that a lot of the rappers or performers or celebrities think it is. And so what we've seen on a larger scale is celebrity brands altogether just not doing well, whether it's a movie star celebrity, other music artists, Post Malone had one, Justin Bieber, but we don't hear about those. And the reason why, in my opinion, is just from my observations, is that some of these big artist brand deals, these celebrity brand deals in cannabis, have been strictly endorsement deals. And when it comes to cannabis, there's a lot of depth to cannabis. It's not just like selling a pair of sneakers and where you just, make sure you're cool with the colors and you like the design and, it works right as a shoe and all the details there, but it stops. There's no subjective points to it. Whereas with cannabis, it's very subjective, similar to food. So I love to use these comparisons, food and cannabis, because there's so many similarities. And think of it as if you had LeBron James come in to cook your dinner and you want to have some 5-star gourmet dinner. He's probably not going to be the right person to cook that dinner unless he had specialized training. That's his hobby. And, he has skills like that. I'm not discounting that he doesn't. But the point I'm trying to make is that if someone comes in that's highly specialized in one area, doesn't mean that they're automatically going to translate to a celebrity or to a high profile individual in another industry. And we even saw this with Michael Jordan when he switched from basketball to baseball. And these are, outlandish comparisons. It's not the same as the cannabis industry, but it still goes to show you that these niches that people are known for, when you start going outside of that, you run the risk of not being an expert or not being a specialist in that field. And the people that are really in that field look the other way. And so, in my opinion, I think that's what's been happening with these celebrity cannabis brands. We've seen all sorts over the years, from music artists, actors, internet celebrities, sports celebrities. So all these brands from big to small. You've heard obviously of Tyson. You've heard of Wiz Khalifa's got his brand out. Pretty much all these celebrity brands, aside from Burner and Cookies. Burner and Cookies did theirs separate. They did theirs organically in a sense. Whereas a lot of these other celebrity brands, all that is a producer that has a license and supply chain, and they need to sell their flower. They need to sell their weed, their concentrates, whatever it may be. So what they do is they partner with celebrities and they say, hey, promote this brand. We're going to do everything behind the scenes. You don't have to do anything. Maybe just show up to some stores or make some Instagram posts, promote it and market it. And that's all they do. So they don't have a hand in the actual brand. Versus a good example of a celebrity brand that's been successful is Squints. He's down in LA and he's actually in the cannabis industry. He's more in the cannabis industry than he is an actor. And he was from the movie Sandlot. And so he works with a genetics company called Foreign Genetics. And between the two of them, he growing their genetics and then putting it into his cannabis brand. And it's doing quite well. And it's been there for a while. So this is a great example of how a celebrity brand successfully does make it in the licensed cannabis industry. And in doing so, I'm not saying you have to go out there and grow your own weed, but you do have to be involved in the daily operations of the brand. So think of this more like a music artist if you're a rapper. You're not going to get a record deal and they're all going to be in the background doing everything for you. And then they're going to be like, okay, we got an AI voice. We're going to record your rap for you. You don't even have to come to the studio. All you got to do is just show up to the events and shake hands and lip sync your lyrics. And so these artists, and I'm being facetious here, but in the future, this is ultimately where it's going to, is where these artists aren't even having to do any of the work. So think about it. If you have a cannabis brand and, a rapper's promoting the cannabis brand, it's not like they're in here, purchasing the flower, growing the flower, dealing with the packaging, making sure the freshness, the quality control's there. These are all things on a daily, ongoing basis that as a business owner, you have to deal with from owning a brand. So what ultimately has happened is these celebrity brands have done nothing more than just endorse them. They just promote them, put their face on it, and call it a day. And people in the cannabis industry, they might not understand directly what it is, but they can pick up on what's not real. So what I'm saying is these celebrity brands are assembled brands. They're mass produced, they're marketed, they're commercialized. It's not the type of vibe that the real cannabis community actually gravitates towards. So, in my opinion, for a celebrity brand to be successful, ultimately you have to be part of the daily operations of the brand. And like I was saying, you don't have to grow the weed, you don't have to be there touching the weed every day, but you have to be part of that business just like you are if you are a rapper. Yeah, you go in there and you record your song, but there's so much other stuff to the business, from marketing to promotions to doing events to traveling, all these different things and more. Merchandise. There's ongoing list of being an artist, and a lot of people just think it's easy. You just get on screen, you get on stage, and you make millions of dollars, and it's just the total opposite. And that's the same way in cannabis. Is you can go start your brand, start your cannabis company, start your business, whatever, but there's no guarantee in the end that it's going to be a huge success. And that's the same thing with music. So if you're a celebrity, if you're in the music industry especially, there's a lot of similarities. And if you have good social media presence, you'll most likely do well. But the key takeaway here is to be part of your daily operation. Even if other people, if you have partners, if you have operators, if you have managers that are doing the day-to-day tasks and making sure this and that's happening, be hands-on in the design part, be hands-on in the marketing part, in the events part. Make your own decisions. Make this your brand. Don't allow someone else to have the brand that you put your face on that they just pay you a cut of. And that's the big difference, is if you're just getting your face put out there, getting a cut of the sales that some other random producer's doing versus it truly being your brand and you putting it out there. It's a big difference, and I hope I'm explaining that difference, and I hope you can understand the nuances of that difference. However, if not, I do have a coaching course, Cannabis Academy. Check out my website, highchris.com, and we teach you about building, launching, and growing your licensed cannabis brand without even having to own the license. So check out the website and check out more great content on YouTube.